Welcome back to another Reaconteur video, and in today's video I will be showing you guys the best build for every faction or race in Type Soul, along with their ideal weapons and partial and mode setups. If you enjoy, make sure to subscribe, since only about 20% of the people watching this video right now are actually subscribed. Also, watch my last video on why Type Soul is awful if you haven't seen it already, and also I will be giving incentives to people who buy channel memberships, so buy a channel membership if you want to hear me singing various songs. Now let's get into it. First up, let's talk about the best build for Shinigamis, or better known as Soul Reapers. Soul Reapers have actually gotten a notable amount of buffs, but there are two main builds I want to cover as being the best for Soul Reapers. The first build is going to be 50 keto and 15 speed after red pills, of course. And this is going to be the best overall build, while the other one that I'm going to cover right after this will be the best arena ranked 1v1 build. You're also probably going to want Ice Shikai with this build, ideally because the stuns and freeze effects from it make it the easiest to land your high damaging moves, especially because ice moves are really quick in comparison to other moves with similar stun effects that are in the keto kit. This build is really good for a lot of reasons, but it's mainly just super easy to use, and it's also really good at outputting massive amounts of damage with moves like Heavenly Cannon and Saksui. The extra speed is because you get flashed at Mastery 2 and Blooming Cut, which are both really good, and also there's really no point in going past 50 in any stat except for speed, especially with Keto because there's no moves that you get past the 50 point. Also, the Bakudo skill box move is probably going to be something you want because it's another move that basically makes you have a free combo with zero effort inputted. And tied for the best build for specifically 1v1s though, I would put Win Shunko Hakuda, and obviously speed because you need Shunko for speed, or you need speed for Shunko. This build uses Win Shikai and Shunko with 20 speed and 45 Hakuda. The skill boxes you want are Shori and Death Flare, or Death Flare and Gehenna. Really, you just need Death Flare, but the Shori version of this build is better if you're a worse player or just want an easy combo and combo starter. Gehenna is better than Shori, but it does have a much higher skill ceiling and it's harder to use than Shori. So for those of you who don't know, Shori is the move that teleports you onto someone and forces an aerial combo with Hakuda, so it is extremely easy to use. Wind Shikai is good for this because of Wind Crowned and Wind Prisoned. Hakuda's main weakness is the inability to close distance and start combos, and both these moves bring people into you or allow you to get in close for a much easier combo starter, which is why Wind Shikai is really good for this. This build is amazing in ranked for 1v1, so it's great for grinding ranked, but it struggles in the overworld where there is no structure, because if you get ganked as a Hakuda user and you're outnumbered, you don't have a lot of options because you can't really combo people when you're getting hit by 4 more. Especially because Wind has a pretty weak Bankai in comparison to some of the other modes, even though it is actually a really good and highly underrated Shikai. Next up is Quincy. I actually finally progressed a Quincy slot, so I am no longer just an Arankar player. Now I'm a dirty Quincy too. Anyway, the best build is probably also, and unsurprisingly, Keto Speed. It's actually the exact same build as the Soul Reaper Keto one in terms of stats. 50 keto and 15 speed, of course, for Flash the Mastery 2 and Blooming Cut. The ideal weapon is either the Quincy Glock, which is good for spacing and combo ending, or the newer weapon, the Spalton. It's basically got a better version of Fast Fang for it a critical, and it's honestly insane, and it really needs a nerf, but it's really fun to use right now. And I just wanted to bring this up, but we all know the Fast Fang hitbox is garbage, and here is what it looks like. As you can see, it's not even active for most of the move's duration, and it is apparently way larger than it looks, although it is skewed in front of you rather than around you. Devs, please rework this and make it more like the Spalton crit in terms of hitbox, please, because the Spalton is really, really consistent, and Fast Fang is really inconsistent. Anyway, the Spalton is really good because it crit guard breaks and sets you up for literally anything super easily. The main skill box moves you'll want for this build are Zorn Goats and probably Holy Thunder. Zorn Goats is a really good move that basically buffs your M1s, kind of like Metal Armament from Deep Woken, for those of you who know what that is. It's like an extra hit, or because it's different in this game, well, 3 extra hits after you land an M1, and it basically just buffs your damage and stun on M1s when you use it. Holy Thunder does a lot of damage, is a good unpunishable ranged option, and it can even be used to escape Hakuda combos sometimes when the game doesn't want to lock you in place and force you into them. Holy Thunder is basically just Sankt Bogen with a high jump, and it's faster, and it does just about as much damage, I believe. There really isn't any specific shrift that's ideal for this build. There are a lot of good ones for it though. Fear is good because it can start combos and close distance, as well as giving you another ranged option. It's also a rare, so you're more likely to get it if you don't have enough rolls somehow, which I don't know how you wouldn't because they give you so many codes now. Visionary is good because the meteors is a free moveset attack combo that you can use to pretty much land anything, and the guns are good for opening and pressuring from slight ranges, or of medium distance. Miracle is honestly kind of mid, but I think we all already know that. Miracle has just really not been the best legendary in a long time, and Superstar is just really good on its own, independent of the build. Not the best PvP build, but the best support build possible in the entire game, which I will be covering now because I kind of just want to cover the best support build, you know, because it's really good in boss raids, is going to be a healing build consisting of course, 60 healing and the Balance Shrift. This build is the best support build for boss raids because the way boss raids work most of the time, most of the bosses aren't possible without a healer. Good luck fighting the captain. That bitch does 2 bars in a single hit. So imbalance, the Balance Shrift move, as well as the healing from the healer tree makes it extremely easy to help your teammates farm the boss raid arena and kill bosses with minimal casualties. So if you ever get Balance Shrift and you want to spin off of it, I would honestly just recommend using another slot or account and not doing that, because if you have Balance Shrift, then you could just make a support build and farm the boss raids super easily for the best loot in the game. And finally, we are on to Reaconteur. And honestly, Reaconteur might be the weakest faction in terms of skill trees. I said skill trees, not overall, skill trees. That means just the moves within the stat trees, excluding skill boxes, or well, including skill boxes, but excluding partial res, Vasto, True Vasto, and other factors within a build, because I don't want to hear anyone complaining about Reacontours in the comments. Reaconteur has the weakest base skill tree kits as of this video being recorded. Cerro Salvo and Cerro Scourge, which were the highlight of Keto Reaconteur, were both nerfed heavily. Cerro Salvo went from being a completely unblockable move that was basically a free combo starter to a very blockable move, and it was the main Keto combo starter for Reacontours. Keto Reaconteur also has some of the worst skill box moves in the game, especially after the nerfs to, like, I think Fireflies. Regardless, Hakuda and Keto are tied for the best. Generally, you would want 50 Keto, 15 speed, wow, who knew, or 15 speed and 50 Hakuda. Starting with the Hakuda build, because it's pretty similar to the Soul Reaper one. Death Flare is the ideal skill box move with either Shori or Gehenna, depending on your playstyle and skill level. Shori is for worse players who want an easy combo starter. Gehenna is for better players who want a good combo ender or extender. Because of the close range nature and stun locking within Hakuda, Acid is actually a pretty good partial resurrection to use, because if someone is in your 30-second combo, they're taking 30 seconds of acid poison aura damage. Bone is also really good for Hakuda because it cripples people, and anything that cripples makes landing your combos easier. Also, it gives you a long-range option with Spline or a combo starter option with Rupturing, and even though the move encasing is really good as it gives you a large crippling AoE, it's just you know, the other two are probably better because they give you more options. Bone, while having a great partial, also has a good full res form and Segunda, which is very impressive for a common, and is honestly within the top 3 partial resurrections in the game. And of course, Light is good with Hakuda. We all know this. Light is good with everything, but it can be used for true combos into Hakuda, and even if it couldn't, it still gives you more options with that one ranged move that kind of makes that loud noise. You know, unless it's been nerfed by the time of me writing this video script on April 17th of 2024. Although unfinished, Arrogante is also good with Hakuda for the fact that it provides you with a move that cripples people, and also the Arrogante C move, Funeral, is a combo extender. People hate on Arrogante because it's unfinished, but it is a great partial res. I know it's not finished and it doesn't have like res and Segunda in it, but oh my god, the partial is really good, and if people realize that, it would probably be super popular. And of course, Stark XC or Stark ZC is a viable option because Stark is good on everything. It's like the Frank's Red Hot of partials. You could put it on everything and it'll work. Onto the Keto build, you basically just want to go 50 Keto, 15 speed, like the Soul Reaper build, and for your Resurrection of choice, obviously Stark works, but Stark is probably the only one that I would entirely recommend for just Keto, because Stark has Ceros, but not only does it have Ceros, it has something to escape combos, that being Cerro Corazon, and something to start combos and pressure opponents, that being the Buster Wolf. The two biggest weaknesses of Keto Reaconteur are the inability of hyper armor combo escaping moves and the difficulty in starting combos. And even if you could like use hyper armor moves, you're acting like every Hakuda user isn't just gonna spine rend you out of it. Stark fixes both of these issues and combos very well for Keto builds, but on the other hand, you have Vamp. I would say Phage and Payday, but honestly, I think Echo and Payday is probably better for Keto, because a lot of people don't know about this, but Payday and the Echo Bite can move stack into each other, meaning you can use Payday, and then you can use Echo, which stuns on the screen, and then they get hit by the Payday, and you bite them. And then guess what? Now they're on the floor, hit literally any move, like Cerro Scourge. completely free, and then you get them into a combo. So Vamp is actually another really good option. I honestly wouldn't recommend Phage though. I think Phage is at this point the worst move in the kit. A lot of people say Payday is because it's an easy parry and you can also block it, but a lot of people aren't move stacking Echo and Payday together, because when you do that, it is deadly, and it will pretty much give you a free combo right out of it after you just took half the Reiatsu in health. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe and just know I love you all. If you want to see more of these, give me ideas on videos to make, because I'm starting to run dry, and this grind is getting hard because I don't make money from YouTube. No, I don't actually care about the money. I do this for free and for fun because I'm rich. Anyway, I love you all. Hope you all have an amazing day, and goodbye.